Hello there, everybody. Today we have a very, very special video for you because today we are going to go birding at Dinosaur Island filming locations. We're not even 10 seconds into the video and I already have an insert to make. So this turned into being far less of a birding video than originally intended, in part because there weren't a ton of birds at these locations, but also because I really enjoyed the whole visiting Dinosaur Island filming locations aspect of this. Far more than originally anticipated. And so because that, our little journey here very quickly turned into something that was much more focused on that than anything else. But because we filmed this video before any of that, it is a little misleading, but I didn't want to record a whole new intro for it. And don't worry for the bird fans, I will still show off the birds that I saw in this video, don't you worry. Now, some of you guys might not really know what that entails. So Dinosaur Island, for the birding audience here who might not know, was a YouTube series filmed by this guy. He started it when he was about 10 years old, I believe.
Yes.
And it consisted of him basically making dinosaur documentary type stuff with his toy dinosaurs in his yard. And then eventually it progressed to him doing it more as a teenager. And then when he made season 4, he went out to areas outside of his yard. That's a very loud car. He went out to areas outside of his yard to do some filming out there. So,
and it was short-lived, by the way.
It was.
Because season 5 was back in my yard. But for one season, I was like, we're gonna film on location, man.
Exactly.
I'm gonna play with my toys in public.
Exactly, that's what he did.
As a 15-year-old, it was very fun.
Yeah.
I was never nervous or embarrassed at all when people walked by and went, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. He was a very proud man. But yeah, so today we're going to be going around to different locations, and he's going to show me where some of his Dinosaur Island filming locations were for the audience here who does dinosaur figure stuff and knows what that is. And I'm also going to be birding because, of course, birding is awesome.
And he does that.
And I do that. So anyway, so we're starting off here at China Lake, which is the filming location of...
It's the north side of the island, or most of the north side of the island. So like the northern forest.
Yeah.
And Stegosaurus Lake, which you see for like 2 seconds in the season in like B-roll passing shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Jane, Mars, William, the Carcharodontosaurs all live. Does anyone remember these names? Or do you still have any DI brain rot left?
If you remember any of these names, comment down below. But yeah, so we're going to go exploring here. So, catch you again in a bit. Okay, Gibson, where are we right now? What is this location? What is this spot? Okay, another insert. I apologize for my heavy breathing that you are about to experience in this next clip. We had just climbed up a hill, and I probably should have held the camera farther away from my face, but oh well.
So, this is the primary north side filming location from season 4, which fans of the channel may remember. Season 4 is the only season where I filmed regularly, not just in my yard. So I had various glorious, exotic filming locations, as you can tell by,
such as this,
by the great freeway noise in the background. It's very secluded and natural. So any scenes from season 4 with like Jane and Bloodtooth and Owen, or Mars or William or the Carcars or any of the northern side characters were very likely filmed somewhere around this vague open area.
This spot.
I know
look at the side.
Specifically, one that I can remember off the top of my head is in episode 1 of that season when Jane gets cornered by the Acro and Bloodtooth has her awesome Deus Ex Machina moment.
Oh, yes.
That was like right along the edge of, I don't know if this ivy was here, it might have been a little pushed back. I think it was mossy. It was a little different, but it was like right just along these shrubs.
Yeah.
And then
the epic moment where all the, everyone who liked the show cheered.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of where Bloodtooth died as well.
Oh, nice. Well, it's good having the same spot.
I think near that tree there is where Mars gets trampled by stegosaurs.
This tree,
I know
right
she's
there.
Near a tree when they like come at her. I think that one just looks right.
It does look right. We can review the footage later and confirm that this is the correct tree.
I'm trying to think. I mean, honestly, there still were some scenes filmed in my yard that season, but like a lot of it was like, oh, we have some lovely takeout garbage.
A nice staple of every.
Some tin foil and tissue.
Even Dinosaur Island is not immune to the trash of man.
I remember when I was up here with Demon Dad, because Demon Dad would drive me over here when I was. How old was I when I would have been like 15 when we were doing this?
Yeah.
And as I was filming stuff, he would like so diligently go and like if my backpack was in the shot, he would like tuck it out of the way. And if there was garbage, he would remove it, or he'd be like taking big leaves and pine cones and moving that. Like he cared more than I did.
About what was in the background. That's great.
And you can see these like little branching off trails. Those are the final thing I'll mention, because there's, I think it's when the cars are first introduced. They're chasing William, and there's just some like fun, goofy. POV running shots, which are going up and down these little side trails here.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's most of what's going on.
That's about it here. Is there are there any other spots here at China Lake, or is this like the main spot?
It was pretty much just this, and then kind of what we saw before down by the edge of the lake. I would get like B-roll down by the edge of the water.
Oh, okay, so.
Like, hey, look, Stegosaurus Lake exists, but nothing really happened near there.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I fully realized that it was like most of it was filmed in like just this one clearing.
Yeah, no,
I assumed it was a little bit more expansive. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
nice.
When you're dealing with 140 scale-ish dinosaur toys,
yeah,
you don't really need that much room to make it feel expansive or
that is true.
Or varied.
That is true.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. This is like maybe the first time I've been here since whatever the last scene I filmed here was.
Yeah. So that's probably it's been like what, 6 years?
Yeah, about. You know what would be great? There was, I don't even know if it's public anymore. It's probably one of my many random unlisted videos, but there was a video I did at some point, like before the season even came out, where I was like, filming has restarted. People probably didn't even know it had stopped, but for some reason I gave a 5-second update where I was like, filming is restarted.
Oh, no, I remember watching that. Yeah, I remember that now.
I was like selfie camming like right here or something in the middle of the clearing. It'd be great to figure out exactly.
Okay, we'll have to do, when we get back, we'll have to do some forensics.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll insert here in the video.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? Bionicle here, and I am currently at the beautiful and lovely China Lake, and I am doing the first shoot for Dinosaur Island Season 4 of 2017. I hope to be doing these all the time throughout what remains of the spring and all of the summer. It feels so great to be back here, finally getting started on this project once again. Thank you for watching. Bionicle signing out, and look forward to Season 4.
Well, nice.
But yeah, there you go. The northern forest, I think specifically, is what this is.
Woot woot. Well, this China Lake has been rather unproductive for birds so far, but we're gonna go take a look out at the actual lake to see if there's any guys hanging out here. And there were indeed some birds hanging out at the actual lake. The first birds of this epic journey, there was a pair of mallards, both a female and a male in eclipse plumage. And then there was also this epic little black-throated gray warbler. I was super happy to get some good footage of this guy. And then there was also an epic spotted towhee hanging out in the thick vegetation. Okay guys, me and Gibson have been doing some forensics, and we have determined that this route right here is the spot where Mars died.
Yeah, random character no one remembers.
Yeah, that moss wasn't there yet, but it's very clearly the same structure of the roots, so heck yeah.
We tried looking for the log where William the Baishan Long gets confuzzled in episode 3. He hits a log with like open space to both sides and doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And we've determined that the log is not here anymore.
Hello there guys, Editing Eric here. I have made a discovery about where the log was. I've been doing some forensics. So I've got Gibson's old little Dinosaur Island Restarted filming video up right here. And if we go through it, we can see the log that William gets stuck on right there, right behind him in the video. Okay, but where exactly is this log? Where exactly is he standing? I've determined based on some paths that we can see earlier and just kind of the general foliage. So this tree that's right behind his head right now is this tree right here. So the log is basically right behind where Gibson is in this clip from earlier in the video. Just scroll back to early in the video to get a better idea of exactly where he is. The Bloodtooth death scene is kind of behind him to some degree. And then all these little bushes right here are those bushes behind him. And then we continue forward a little bit. That tree right there is that tree. And then you can't see it very well, but I can confirm because I was there in person. There's a little path that goes off that way. There's this tree here that you can kind of see a little bit behind that original tree, right? And then here's the big kicker. I had to let it play a little bit. This path right here that curves, it's that path right there. And then a little bit later on, when he lifts his camera up a little bit, you can even see the tree, which is that tree right there. It's grown up a little bit. It's not as obvious. But yeah, so Gibson was filming this, honestly standing kind of almost, I got kind of this video covering up where he was. He's probably kind of right where my mouse is. I'm hoping that you can see my mouse when I start this recording. But anyways, that's where the log was. It was right behind my guy here, right next to this tree. I've done the forensics and figured it out. Yes, yeah, because Gibson said he never really went far from this spot. Yeah. He was not very adventurous, as it turns out.
No, the funniest part about this that I think we need to communicate to the viewers at home is that, like, this is a nice little area. There's a whole lake, lots of trails, and, like, I pretty much just filmed in this clearing.
Yeah, but we just walked around. Like, it's a pretty expansive spot, and
so many neat
he used this one clearing.
Never used.
15-year-old Gibson was adventurous, I guess. Not
adventurous. The opposite of that.
The opposite. We're doing more forensics, so this is the scene where the cars are about to kill Bloodtooth. And that's definitely the same trees, but they're just way more covered in ivy now. That's pretty cool. Whoa, I found another shot that lined up with the trees. How cool. So for this kind of 3x3 tree leaning on the side, only 2 of them are there now. One of it broke off. You can see the broken branch at the bottom. But then that tree is the same. And then this little tree here is definitely that branch that goes there. And then we got the same forkage stuff. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, I am very sure is the spot where Bloodtooth fell. Okay, Gibson, where are we now? We've left China Lake.
Yes.
We're now in a new location. Where are we?
We are now at Swan Creek in godforsaken South Tacoma. This is the south side of Dinosaur Island, appropriately, from season 4. So this little spot is like where the intro scene was filmed in episode 2 of that season, where I'm just like, here's all the south side characters, blah.
Yeah.
And down there is the creek where Red Sail would be a dinosaur.
There you can kind of see the water in there.
And just like China Lake, you're greeted by the majestic sound of the automobile in its natural habitat.
Indeed, indeed. Well, awesome. Let's continue down and find some more interesting locations.
Heck yeah.
We're rolling.
Okay, so out back where we were,
we were just right there, and now we've walked around a corner. Yeah. And now we're here.
As I explained, like, that was where I filmed the intro scene with, like, Dark Claw and Silas and all the South Side characters for season 4. But I think that, being that was closer to the parking lot, it's just like the first random field you hit, it was, like, awkwardly close to where a lot of people would be. So I secluded myself in this random field instead. And this is where, like, most of the subsequent scenes with Dark Claw, Silas, Orangeback, all those sorts of characters took place, including the epic fight between the Utah Raptors and Dark Claw, which, you know, is super epic and amazing.
Very epic and amazing.
You cut to shot from the scene.
Yeah, this scene was actually very revolutionary. Yeah. Camosaurus in 2018 actually rated this scene as 10 out of 10.
Utahraptor versus Dark Claw scene. I really love that scene. I'd give that scene probably just a 10 out of 10.
So, I mean, I think that's all you need to know about how good this scene was.
There you go.
Yeah, we just rewatched some of it. It's, just to do some forensics that we couldn't really do. And there were so many in-focus shots. It was really incredible.
Truly, season 4 has just aged like a rotting cow in a river.
It really has. It really has.
Whoa, is this another shot that lines up with trees in the background? That's pretty cool. And whoa, is this a shot that now lines up with the creek in the background? Bro, that's also really cool.
Okay, so me and Gibson have been doing some forensics, right? So first off, there was a big log that spanned across this opening, right? And it is, in the 7 years since he filmed this, that log is now broken down. You can see the end of it there and then the end of it there. But in general, this bank, there's also a bunch of trash. This bank has definitely changed a lot in 7 years, because this rock the Medusa ceratops is on should be right where this pile of trash is. Maybe even a little farther that way. And it definitely is not there anymore.
Yeah.
And we were doing a similar thing with Silas. We think that in 7 years, probably power of erosion.
This bank has changed a lot.
Yeah, this bank has shrunk, right? It used to go out a little farther, and now it's come in more
honestly,
like this.
Like one of the rock we're looking for might be like one of these.
It probably is one of these. That's just like, it might even be like that one right there, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like falling down. So, yeah, good stuff. But this is where the Medusa ceratops, where Silas chased after the Medusa ceratops.
I love that, like, we're coming back 7 years later after season 4 to be like, erosion has changed the lands beyond recognition. Trash infests the once pristine wilderness. Like, it's like dystopian now.
It really is. You could make an environmental message on Dinosaur Island about this. I forgot to film this clip before, but the Silas hunting Medusa ceratops scene is right there where that trash is. And Darkclaw hunted the raptors. Well, he was fighting the raptors right where Gibson's standing. I just want to geography establish where they are in relation to each other. So we are consistently finding that Swan Creek has changed quite a bit in the 7 years since Gibson filmed Dinosaur Island here.
It's kind of crazy how that clearing up at China Lake is such a time capsule, and then we came here and it's just like certain things are just gone. For instance, so this whole mouth of this stream going out into this pond, this did not used to be a wide open mouth. There used to be, like, I'm gonna say 2 or 3 thick, like, wide gravel bars that came out through here that you could easily walk over. Sandbar, gravel bar, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it's in the first episode of the season when we first see Red Sail fight his rival, the ugly Collecte Spinosaurus. That was out on here in, I think it's the second episode. Darkclaw, like, kills a whole family of hadrosaurs out of the pure malice of his heart.
Right here in this river.
That was also, like, right here, over what is just water now. Because I think that there was intentional, like, excavation and serious work done on this area at some point to, like, redirect water flow or open up water flow. But yeah, there used to be gravel bars out here, and they were so cool to film on. There's a reason I went out on them. Like, being able to film out on a little sandbar with the little water, like, kind of delta branching off through it. Like, it was really neat. And it doesn't exist.
It was a very cool little setup, and the places like that exist in the world. The exact spot appears to have now been lost to time. Interesting. Okay, well, let's continue. Okay, me and Gibson are now wandering up the creek to try to find the location where Red Sail fought Darkclaw.
A very memorable scene.
Very memorable.
I definitely didn't forget about until you mentioned it.
Yeah, so we're gonna cross that, but that board doesn't seem very secure, so I think there's a little path here we're gonna walk around. Okay, so me and Gibson were wandering down the creek for quite a while, just trying to find anything that resembled any of the various red sail scenes. The difficulty is just creeks are such a dynamic place, and all the trees and logs move and stuff. It's been just so hard over there, even though we don't think that's been, like, modified by, like, heavy equipment and stuff. Just the creek moves. But we had revelation. So this is when Redtail fights the Collectospino. And I saw that tree with that distinctive crook in it on the side. And it's that tree right there. And then we got that big tree. Some of these trees have fallen down, right? So they're not, but yeah, look, that almost lines up exact, right? Only except it'd be more like up here. But some of the background trees have fallen down. We got that curved one in the back that's kind of broken now. But yeah, this is definitely the spot where it is, only except I think it was actually about 4 feet under me. Okay, now this is a pretty major insert that I want to say here. When I originally filmed this, me and Gibson were thinking that they had kind of dug the channel out and then built the side of the stream up, the stream bank up. But after rewatching some clips from his original episodes on my computer where I could see them a bit bigger, and also I wasn't concerned with like lining up trees and stuff, I came to realize that the bank has not been built up at all. Only the channel has been dug out, which makes sense in hindsight because there are trees along the gravel edge of the bank that could not have grown to that size in 7 years. And also just the footage confirms that like that path was clearly at the same level as the creek basically. So the whole thing's been dug out, not built up at all. So that part where I'm like, oh, I think it happened underground, it definitely did not. I just did not have the right angle for it. If anything, it happened kind of where I was standing, maybe even a little above where my feet were, you know? Built up.
This was much flatter before.
Yeah, exactly.
That fight definitely doesn't take place on a steep slope of loose rocks.
No, it does not. And plus also down there, just the angle isn't right. I mean, I think it's literally like, I'm basically standing on top of it, but it's just under.
It's 4 feet down.
It's
6 feet down.
It's 4 feet underground now. So, Swan Creek, in other words, has had quite a few changes to it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that we've been able to at least find this one, solidly confirm this one location.
Whoa, guys, it's bird time again. Here we see a lovely little robin, and then also a downy woodpecker. That's pretty darn cool. And oh my gosh, is this another shot that lines up with the trees in the background? No way.
Make a little pan over, show where we are. Okay, me and Gibson have been doing some more forensics. So behind the Miragaia in the scene, the useless scene with Michael, where the Miragaia get hunted by a Carnotaurus, the giant gravel hills.
Not to derail the clip, but the literal mystery machine just went by and.
Really?
The literal machine just. Anyway,
I missed.
I just thought that was worth noting.
No, that is worth noting. Oh my goodness. Okay, so apparently the mystery machine is just driven by, but regardless of that, it appears as though that red billboard or whatever it was, shipping container that I remember noting way back when we filmed it, is no longer there. There's nothing currently occupying that position.
Yes.
Which is very sad. Anything else you have to say about this?
Well, the other thing is that there's another red thing in the background of the episode. It might be the same red thing, but it also does kind of correlate with a red car being in the exact spot a red car is in today.
It does, so...
But I don't know.
Maybe.
There might have been two red things in the background in the episode, or it might be the same thing. It's very hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's very blurry.
Okay, kids, you get the idea now.
So I don't think this is the exact spot, as you can tell with that pan around, but he definitely filmed the Iguanodon Utah Raptor chase scene.
Somewhere in here.
Somewhere in here, which is also where the Michael scene was filmed.
I know the way I shot this too, and like part of the reason it's probably confusing is because, you know, I would have like maybe the setup for the chase scene here, and then I would like film the stuff chasing like down that way and down that way, and then at the end of the chase I'd probably just come back to the same spot I started.
Yeah.
Like I had no concern for making these things geographically consistent.
Well, you know, at that scale, you don't necessarily, like, no one can really
It's
tell.
not obvious, yeah.
I don't think it's obvious to anyone, you know? I mean, it's not super obvious that you even filmed these two scenes in, like, almost the exact same spot, you know? So...
But yeah.
Well, cool.
It's a funny.
After that, we finished up at Swan Creek, and we made our way to where Dinosaur Island Season 4 all began.
Okay, so where are we ending the day now, Gibson?
So this is Franklin Park. We've gone from, you know, nature parks to just a city park, because that's a logical place to film DI. And we are ending where season 4 began, with the pointless, kind of awkwardly long, uneventful, Foley-less scene.
I believe this right here exactly is the shot we are talking
Yes,
about.
Yes. And, yeah, you know, it's been a fun experience going down memory lane, thinking back to the most overhyped, poorly aged season of the show. While it is one of the least interesting seasons to watch, I think it is maybe the most interesting one from a behind-the-scenes perspective.
I think it is too. It's been really cool getting to go around. Hold on, I'm gonna flip the camera around. But yeah, I think it's been really, really cool getting to go around to all these locations with Gibson. Like he said, you know, probably one of the, what did you just say before? It's been one of the most interesting ones to go back to.
Yeah, like one of the most interesting seasons in terms of the backstory of it.
Yes.
You know, it was kind of the secret season I started working on after I said the show was over after season 3.
Yeah.
When I was 14 and I was too old to make DI anymore.
You was too old.
And yeah, you know, there was the huge hype train, all the kind of the birth of DinoTube and the live streaming and the community kind of coming together correlates with the same time period of season 4 coming out, and it's a very interesting period.
Yeah.
And you know, I had ambitions.
You
I
did.
got out of my yard.
You
I
had
touched
ambitions.
grass for this
He went to
season.
places like this. And yeah, it's been really awesome for me to get to go back and see all these locations in person, and especially to go to Swan Creek and just see how it's changed and stuff, and getting to do all our little forensics, figuring out that, like, oh, this is the clearing where it was, and all that kind of stuff. It's been really, really awesome to do this, and I thank Gibson a lot for this.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah. Adios, amigos.
Eric, what is happening?
Guess what, b****s? There's more to the video.
Whoa!
Yeah. So, this is now, it's like a month later, right?
Yes.
And basically, I had the idea with Gibson. I was editing the video that you've mostly seen, right? And I went, you know what? Why don't we just do Juniper Ridge like now, right? Like, let's just get it done with, throw it all in one video, you know? Another insert here, because I realized I did not explain what Juniper Ridge is. So Juniper Ridge was the location that Gibson filmed the final scene of Dinosaur Island Season 4. It was a ridge line in the Cascade Mountains that he thought would be an epic place for the final battle. And the episode that contains the final battle, I think we at least agree, is probably the single worst episode of the entire show. But the location where this fight was filmed is the one spot outside of Gibson's garden that we had not visited yet. So we decided to change that. So we are going to be doing that today. We are currently on the road to Juniper Ridge. We are entering a town. I'm not too sure.
We're entering Randall, I think.
This is Randall? Okay.
Yes.
We are entering Randall. And we are on our way to Juniper Ridge, which is in the Cascades, like kind of in between.
It's in the
Mount
Dark
Rainier and Mount
Divide.
Everest. Yes.
Which is a great region name.
This is like the one day that we would be able to do it with how my schedule was, like
Yes.
before the end of the year. And it's also like the one day of the entire week that isn't raining.
Yes, so it's worked out very well.
It lined up extraordinarily well.
The gods want us to revisit the shooting location of arguably one of the worst aged episodes of DI.
Exactly. So we're going there. We're going to complete all the outside of Gibson's yard filming locations, other than that random beach in season 5. But that's just a beach. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll catch ya on the trail.
Oh.
Eventually, our paved roads gave way to classic dirt roads as we entered into the National Forest land, and we began to grow excited as we neared our destination. And we also saw a cool little guy on our drive up that Gibson just happened to catch because he was filming a B-roll shot.
Oh, grouse! Grouse! Grouse moment. Film that grouse.
Grouse moment.
It's a ruffed grouse. Hell yeah! Hi, buddy. Okay, guys, we are now at Juniper Juniper Trail, which will lead us to Juniper Ridge.
It's that way.
Yeah,
It's that way.
it is that way. So
It go there.
this will be pretty incredible. We've got Nigel and Jane. Just camera's not pointing at you at all.
The way
Nigel and Jane.
The
in
way
tow.
you gestured to me and said, "We have Nigel," I was like, "Is that me? Is that who I am?"
We have Nigel and Jane in tow.
We do the exact figures that
Yep.
I lugged up here in a backpack just over exactly 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's the big thing that we realize is like, it's not exactly 8 years. It's like 8 years and like a week and a half, something like that. But we're doing this almost 8 years after he was here filming Dinosaur Island.
Yes.
So this will be pretty exciting. Let's begin up, shall we?
Begin up.
As we made our way up, the trail was fairly deeply rutted because this was a dirt bike trail and they'd kind of carved a large groove out in the center, which wasn't the best for walking on, but we may do.
I don't know if it's capturing on camera, but there's like some mist in the top of these trees. We're like entering into the cloud layer.
Is very neat.
Yes. Trail's been pretty good so far. This is one of the better sections, but as you saw before, it's fairly rutted
Yeah.
because of the dirt bikes. But that's how it was when Gibson was here 8 years ago. So not much has changed in that degree.
Yeah. I thought it would be worse.
Yeah.
The fog only thickened as we continued up the trail, and it led to a really cool, enchanting hike. It was really awesome. It created a great atmosphere.
Guys, we're hitting higher elevation because the trail is currently getting quite a bit frost.
And much like the fog, the frost only intensified as we made our way up the trail, though we were pretty near the top at this point. And then we also saw another bird. This is a varied thrush, one of my favorite birds. I was super excited to see it. But then after that, we emerged out of the tree line with a good view of Juniper Peak, which was the cliff that we just saw, and then this little saddle thing that we're going to go and stand on here in a second.
Okay, guys, we have summited Juniper Peak. There it is right there.
I don't know if summited is the right word when it's over there.
Well,
We're looking at it.
we're looking at it. We're pretty darn close, as you can see.
Juniper Ridge is, I think, just around this corner.
And Juniper Ridge should be that thing kind of looming in the distance.
I don't even think that far.
Oh, like it's literally just around this bend?
I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
basically around this bend.
Okay, gotcha.
So, just beyond us, beyond these glorious, spooky, swirling mists, we picked a strangely beautiful day to hike this bike.
This is a really cool day to hike this.
We can't see shit, but oh well.
Yeah.
So, this little saddle that you can see just silhouetted kind of to the right of this tree here,
Yeah.
I think that's the filming spot. I think this whole thing is Juniper Ridge, but I think that's the exact
Yeah.
area that we need to go to.
Yes.
That's pretty cool, I think.
He's pretty
We'll
sure.
find out. Let's go.
We're gonna find out. Let's go. Okay, guys. Me and Gibson.
It's snowing!
It is. We have topped Juniper Ridge, or Mount Evolution as it's called in the episode. Gibson is standing around where the cars were in that big pan out that I'll be showing. That might have been a little bit closer. But I'm standing about where the Rexes were. They were about right in here. So I'm just giving you some lay of land. But they were like right in here, right? And then, yeah.
And if you go back to the episode, people, you'll see that there's this awkwardly, I mean painfully long, zooming, panning, really just tracking shot.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the way from where the carcass are to
From
the
there.
and you can
all the way
really
up
see
there.
now why that shot is so awkwardly long, because there's like 20 feet
They're like,
where they were
he puts them
facing
like
off.
20 feet away. These
Like-
little dinosaurs.
And then when they run at each other, you get like one running shot for each before they hit. And it's like they should have been running like that scene in Monty Python, The Holy Grail, or dun dun dun, and it cuts back to the gatehouse.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, like that's
Yeah.
what it should have been for like a solid minute before they get to each other. I don't know why I used
so far
much
away.
room. I
Who
didn't need
knows?
that much room.
Who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, we're here, man, with all these twirling, misty clouds. It was a little clearer here in a second ago. I might film again when we can see, and we might try to line some stuff up. That's clearly the rock where the cars were.
Yeah.
So yeah, the cars were like, hold on, walking over. Yeah, they're like here, right? That's like kind of the angle we're talking.
Somewhere around in these bushes. I think this is pretty close to where Fang dies as well.
Yeah, so this is the cliff that Fang falls off, which is very poorly conveyed in the episode that this is actually a cliff. It's not very clear at all what it's supposed to be, but
I will say, young Gibson did legitimately consider knocking his collected Carcharodontosaurus into a valley for just overcommitment.
really?
What really
You were thinking about going to get it?
No. What stopped me was that it would just be littering, because there's no way I could retrieve it, right?
Okay.
I did think it'd be really cool to like overcommit to that shot, but I didn't think it was worth leaving a chunk of plastic in the mountain.
I agree. That would be littering, which is bad. But
I obviously I don't think we're gonna find the exact rock that Jane smashes Caroline's skull on.
no, and I wouldn't be shocked if it's moved either.
But you know, probably somewhere amongst these rocks.
Amongst here. Yeah, dude. Well, I might get some more clips here, especially if it clears up. Or might hang out for a minute.
But it is cold.
It is cold. It is very cold.
It is way too foggy to really figure out too many specific angles or peaks. If it was on a clear day, you'd be able to see Adams that way, the Goat Rocks, Rainier that way, and St. Helens that way. But unfortunately, we can't see any of them. And I think you might be able to see Hood from here as well.
Oh, really? Way down there?
Yeah.
Huh.
I forget where Hood is, but I think, yeah. It's pretty spectacular views when it's not completely in a cloud, as it is right now.
But it really does make it feel like we've completed an epic quest.
Oh yeah, this was very worth it.
We have arrived at our epic final destination, man. This is really, really cool.
It's very misty and magical, not at all like it was when I filmed Jacob's Ladder.
Totally.
A very strangely named episode.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have to do with the episode at all. It was a cool title.
Well, we might line up some more shots I'll include, but this is basically it. We're here, guys. We've topped Mount Evolution. We've completed the journey. Yay! Hell yeah. Okay, guys. After almost 8 years, both Jane and Nigel have returned to not quite the same spot, because it's hard to find the exact location.
It's very difficult, it turns out.
But close enough. They're basically right there. Oh, wait, I can't even see them on the camera. There they are.
I'll go stand next to them.
Stand next to them. Yeah, there they are. Oh, they're right there. Yep.
There's my children.
They blend in really well. Cars were over there. Epic shot.
One to both of these characters is dead in 1 to 2 of my shows.
Yeah. We're now on the way down, and we had a thought. People might be wondering, why are Nigel and Jane there, but the cars aren't?
And the reason is because I sold them. Specifically, I sold Caroline, but I actually gave Fang to Aiden because he was always kind of semi-interested in that figure, but not interested in it enough to buy it himself. And then he sold it.
And then Jane did in that teaser, or at the end, going "rawr" like that, only except you could see things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was off that direction, though.
It was in that direction, guys.
I'm imagining I think it was pretty
Yeah.
And yeah, gosh, I wish we had filmed when we first got up here, because you could at least see that one pointy closer piece.
Yeah, you could kind of see a little better. We're gonna hang for a second, see if it opens up, but I don't have a ton of hope at this point.
And it's cold.
And it's cold.
To get moved, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's time to off. But this has been quite an incredible experience.
No, it's been very cool.
Yeah.
It was a cool, unusually pretty day,
Yeah.
and just an absurd thing.
Totally.
We climbed an entire ass mountain or ridge, just to say that we did it.
Totally. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey to Juniper Ridge with Gibson. And I Hope you've enjoyed our visiting almost every, except for a beach, Dinosaur Island outside of Gibson's yard filming location.
A very worthwhile mission that lots of people will care about.
Exactly. Something that's mattered a lot to us. Honestly, this trip up to this mountain in these conditions, and just a second ago we were watching the episode to line stuff up, is probably one of the craziest things I've done to me personally. To no one else, but to me personally.
It is nice and ridiculous.
Probably one of the highlights of my life. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Okay, guys, you have to use your imagination for this one. POV, you're in 2016, you're a teenager, and you're making out with your partner on a bench with this view of Bioniclesaurus in a field filming with his dinosaurs.
Season 6, coming last year.
This isn't the twist that you're expecting at the end of this episode.
Last year. You missed it.